Hi everyone, it's been a while. I hope that for once I actually sometimes record and then I don't upload. But anyway, right now I am drinking one of my all-time favorites. Is legal soda sparkling pomegranate. It's a cannabis-infused beverage. I don't know if it's only available in Washington. That's my favorite. I'm a sativa kind of bitch. No, this is not sponsored, but call me legal if you want. So recently went out of the country, and it just made me think a lot about, like legislation in different places. I'm gonna take a sip. Anyway, so where I was going, it's kind of illegal, and it wasn't gonna be easy for me to find. Even traveling from state to state, it's not easy for me to find. One time I had a friend who might have taken some joints from Washington to Phoenix, but it went okay, because otherwise my friend would have gone crazy. So yeah, my mood was pretty low. We found some weed where I was. Actually, at the end though, I looked at my cousin and she had a vape pen that looks just like mine, and I know she's not a smoker, like a cigarette or nicotine smoker. And I was like, "Can I see that?" And she's like, I'm like, "Can I see that?" And I was like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Can I take a smoke?" She's like, "Yeah," but she's like, "Do you know it's weed?" I'm like, "Yes, I do." It looks the same, but we do come from a very conservative family, so. Anyway, so I was hoping not to go too crazy of like not having weed, and then coming and buying a bunch here. I only spent $60, though I hear in other places it's like Portland, it might be cheaper. For whatever reason, every time I go, I never buy. I either have it with me or someone does. But yeah. Talking about that law, or just legal laws in general about weed, is when I went to Vancouver, and apparently medical marijuana had been kind of a weird, wild gray market for a while, and they finally legalized it in all of Canada. But it's still kind of a mess. You kind of have to go to a state store, so the weed shops that were not I don't know, they were not approved by the government or whatever. They were still running. I mean, I don't know how long it's gonna last for, but it was quite an adventure. I think I mentioned it before. I took a 300 milligram edible. It was intense. If anyone's from Vancouver, please let me know how that thing is going for you. Okay, so talking about religion, so yeah, our family is Protestant, and we're no, they are Pentecostals. Like, hey, you're going to watch Passion of the Christ when you're 10, and sorry if you're like traumatized by that, I guess. So yeah, which reminds me, I don't know. So I don't know if it's the ADHD or something, but something that I've always done my entire life is just be obsessed with Wikipedia. And I haven't really, so I was looking at cannabis, and well, there's a lot. Cannabis and Judaism is the one I was looking at, because I was reading about like ethogens. Ethogens are usually plants used during like religious rituals. That's why a lot of Mayan and Aztec had, and even tried like magic mushrooms. They think the Gnostics raised, but anyway, I thought this was good, and if you're interested, and if there's a place to put this in a link, I'll show it. I don't know how well researched this is, but I found this funny. especially as someone who's raised as a Christian and didn't realize that I was a converso. A converso was someone who was forced to become a Christian, or descendants of those who were forced to become Christians, so they wouldn't be persecuted for being Catholic. So I'm in this weird crypto-Judaism journey. I will explore that later, but I always have this joke. I mean, other Jewish friends are always like, there's nothing more Jewish than smoking weed. But this said, in the United States, the Jewish population is overrepresented among the recreational cannabis using population. The reason for this are thought to be their urban pattern residents, the disproportionate association of Jewish residents in the academic milieu of the city, as well as its African moments, and that Jewish families are thought to be less authoritarian and more tolerant towards intellectual experimentation. Kind of true. In Toronto, the difference between Jews and Christians with regard to attitudes towards cannabis usage were detected in the high school population, in which surveys show that more than twice as many Jewish students have used cannabis as Catholic ones. Can you imagine like having to go, forgive me, Father, for having sin, or go to a confession because you puffed? But I mean, I'm not an expert at this, and there's so much more. And there's some interesting thing about, kashrut or church law, or if certain things are kosher. There's still some of that about cannabis. Like for some people, it might only be okay. Some rights might only apply to it if it's medical, not recreational. And then you can smoke it, but then on Sabbath and holidays, smoking cannabis would be forbidden because lighting fires is prohibited. But what about vapes? Because I'm vaping right now. And my favorite edibles, there might be a small insect inside which are not kosher. So, yeah, this is all come to me when I was looking at one of my tinctures, and I was just like, oh, it says certified kosher. I'm like, that's cool. But I think there has been a lot of activism from the Jewish community in the East Coast for legalization for marijuana, which I think it's taken longer. I was like, now that I'm a little bit high, and I just want to look up now, like this other Wikipedia. It's like, let's see. I hate this font. Hold on. Okay, I'm back, and God, I need to stop clicking. Click. But, okay, there's also cannabis in the LGBT culture. I'm sure if you've ever been on Twitter or on the internet, or ever talked to another gay person, there's always the joke of, like, X means you're gay. Like, I never learned how to drive. Hella gay. I walk too fast. Hella gay. Those are actually two that don't apply to me. But I understand the kinship. So let's see. Cannabis and LGTB culture. I mean, like, especially when you're dating and you find your dream girl and she smokes weed as much as you do, and you just chill out and kiss and smoke weed and draw. Sorry. In the intersection of cannabis culture and LGBT culture as common characteristic of advocacy for both LGBT rights and access to cannabis is that before about 2000 were both outside legal approval, social approval, and were on the fringe of society everywhere. Weed? Really? I don't know. I mean, in the 90s, like, I think everyone was over weed. Or like, they don't see us heroin anymore. Advocacy for the two issues combined for years, including claims that cannabis is an effective solution for relieving symptoms of AIDS. I don't know about that, but I have heard as relieving symptoms of lack of appetite, wasting disease, which happens in AIDS victims. That can also happen to people with cancer. Also, He just says LGBT community having leadership matters of social tolerance and diverse lifestyles, unless you're a goddamn turf. If you are, leave now. Leave, never come back. That stands for for trans-exclusive radical feminists. I want to say reactionary feminists. Yeah. Anyway, there's a flag. Rainbow flag and little cannabis leaves that's cut out. But yeah, like, I guess sometimes that was kind of a historical thing. Because Harvey Milk, the famous, first openly gay man to be elected in public office in California, in which he got murder, which sucks, kind of checks out. I mean, there's a lot I need to know more about the murder, and what really defines a hate crime, because it was like this other guy who didn't get what he wanted, and so he killed him because he was like a mirror or something. And then there was like the Twinkie defense. The lawyer tried to say that the guy who killed Harvey Milk was really depressed and didn't know what to do, so he only ate Twinkies, and that fucked him up. I don't know. I don't know, really. Surplus were to be lower than it in years, leading to the changes. Yeah, there's a lot. This was not. I was expecting a better page for this. There's video game culture. This and the United States military. I guess there's like, I would recommend a cannabis and search on Wikipedia. A part of a series on cannabis. Probably have the cannabis portal. Cannabis usage is currently private in the U.S. military. Damn, that sucks. If you ever want to be in the military. Military medicine. But yeah, they're pretty uptight about it. There was the arsenal things, which might be like, I think that's what the base that Super showed on Stranger Things. And there's also like MK Ultra, and everyone associates like LSD and experiments, but conducting experiments on human subjects with cannabis and its derivatives. One study indicated no loss of motivation or pursuit after years of heavy military-sponsored smoking of marijuana. Anyway, now we're going to look at the United States. In the United States, there is that. I don't know. The funny thing is that I hear a lot of times there's change to the name marijuana. That's a way to create Mexican phobia and anti-immigrant rhetoric, which is hilarious because, it's kind of weird talking about aspects and measurements. Like, I don't think marijuana was one of the major measurements, but anyway, it was just like an old world plant. An old world plant to the New World. So who's to blame? Europe, who's to blame? And cannabis, and I've already done the religion ones, not that much fun. And border towns of the United States. Whoa. Okay. This is kind of cool. But does this mean like border towns for like state line, or not like the border. I was thinking Mexico and then also Washington. But like, let's see. But that is kind of nice because, you know, like, you know, you can do that with guns or whatever. So you can do something a little bit less scary, like, and less maybe dangerous to society, like weed. I think that's okay. Ontario, Oregon was the first place I went. Yeah, I think it hits Idaho. Cannabis legalization was probably a really big boost to their economy. Michigan, Illinois, Michigan, Colorado, Nevada. Yeah, well, I know Huntington, Oregon was doing it way before Ontario, Oregon, but I guess Ontario, Oregon was better. I don't know. I think it's closer. I mean, recreational sales were legal in Washington, but illegal in Oregon. Yeah, baby, Washington, first one to, and Colorado to criminalize it. I think we're still having the same laws. I think now we're probably more aggressive than other states who have. According to that, essentially located along the Oregon Washington border did make considerable revenue, and which sucks. Because then I think, like I said, it's way cheaper in Canada. I mean, Canada has like no sales tax, but I doubt they would allow that for like marijuana style. Like, I just don't think they would do it. Like, there's certain things that they do have tax on, like, I don't know, recreational stay somewhere. Like, if you're just chilling in the city, then yeah, like, I think they have a tax for that. Cannabis in the states, by state, by politics. Ooh, there's a lot. We'll come back to that. No, I don't. We don't want to know about the history effect. Yeah. I guess I don't know. I guess there was a lot. So this is a border effect, but within like trade. So nothing, not, you know, maybe not international, but still really interesting, I guess. When that edible hits, video game culture. I don't know. I feel like people, especially all these gamers, capital G. Take it as you will with that. Mostly drink more than smoke, but I don't know. I guess various research shows that video game addiction and cannabis use mentally increase each other. Cannabis use. Okay. Cannabis abuse. I don't know. I feel like that I will have to go to the talk page, my new feature on Wikipedia, to see what people have to say about this, because I want to know how legit this study is. Segregating cannabis is highly taboo in media narratives. Because of this, mainstream censorship will prohibit video games where the objective is murder, prohibit video games which present cannabis use as normal. Hey, if you can find a video game or make the first video game. I mean, that seems strange because like with TV shows, like that's definitely talked a lot more about, at least I think, in like that 70s shows or Degrassi, when that dude does get like testicular cancer, which sucks, but yeah, and that was to help with his appetite. 420 is what is our cannabis culture represent. Just, yeah, I'm a right clicker. I don't care. Wait, there's 420 and then there's also long term. But anyway, cannabis, and it doesn't, I think, let's see, because then you can also have cannabis and, I don't know, sports. I don't know, like, yeah, with it, there's no I think it might be under the list of like substance that you can have when you're competing. There's no consensus about the performance enhancing effects of marijuana. But yeah, I guess probably wouldn't play football or swim if I was super high. I don't know, it doesn't seem like a good idea. Sorry, it's just hitting hard because I have not been high for like over 10 days. 420, cannabis culture. Yeah, it's because we do it on the 420. It's in the origins. Wasn't there like an origin for it? Wasn't it like, hey, it was because it was like Hitler's birthday, or it was like the unfortunate Columbine shooting? But I don't know. I think it's like 5 high school students in Santville used to turn 420 in connection with a plan to search for an abandoned cannabis crop based on a treasure map made by the grower. I mean, finding cannabis, a cannabis like crop, especially like a large one in California, that is green gold. And that's the third part, their meeting time. So 420, Lewis, because we're living at 420. Yeah, I guess that's it. But I don't know. There was that myth. Oh, there's the street sound sign. Oh, that's funny. I mean, a lot of this stuff, like, you can show on media once you can commercialize it or commodify it. But yeah, like, the 420 Cannabis Cookbook published by Simon and Schuster and the 420 Gourmet by HarperCollins. Hope both of them have gotten the Well Book Award for some shit. I don't know. You guys hear about Raytheon and the Hugo Awards? That shit is fucked. For reference, Raytheon is like a military company that makes a bunch of drones and bombs and surveillance. The Hugo Awards are awards for science fiction, usually sometimes critical stories about society, and that actually speak out against militarism. That's a fun, neat, niche Twitter fight if you want to see, but no, fuck Raytheon. That really sucks. The United Kingdom, yeah. Sometimes if you go into the dark web, like my friend does, you can only get it by going to like a weird website, and people will say from the States. Canada seems the world's largest exporter of legal cannabis. That's something to think about. But I don't know, maybe this is why usually if you meet someone who's English, they'll talk about a split, and maybe it's because you don't have enough weed, so you mix it with nicotine or tobacco, and have a cigarette, a little weed cigarette. But that is something too. That also my favorite. God, that page will take us forever. It's a hell dope picture. It's tiny. It's a painting, but it's like of a person smoking from this like big pipe, painted in 1900. I know there's a lot of talk about hashes and stuff in the Middle East, but I haven't. Yeah, cannabis has been mostly notable in the Indian subcontinent. China, the Germanic people. I think we can talk a lot about, maybe there will be an episode on like, the Vikings and weed. And, yeah. I guess it's kind of fun, this sort of identity. There's like cannabis in the Northwest. Let's see. Cannabis politics. Let's see. Yeah, a lot of the parties, I mean, like, we know that sometimes, though a lot of conservatives too, like, also are down with weed, but a lot of it is just, like, pro-marijuana, not really quite an ideology. Yeah. Oh, let's see the cannabis in Washington. That's me. Do people still do the hemp fest? That's when people go and just legalize cannabis, but like it's now Uncle Ike's. Fuck Uncle Ike's. Cannabis City. Oh, that's like a store. Cannabis Corner. Oh, it's city owned. Oh, wow. Who owns it? Stevenson, Washington. Crazy. Kettle Falls 5. Damn, Grim, I don't want to out there they. But yeah. That's really funny. Okay, British Columbia and Oregon. Oh my gosh. But no, culture of the Pacific Northwest. You don't understand the culture of the Pacific Northwest, okay? Culture of British Columbia. Because there's Washington State culture. That's hilarious. But there's like no, we're going to have state because otherwise it would be the other Washington, D.C. Wikipedia is the best. Especially that's when you're so high. Let's see. Indirect grilling. What the fuck that is? Oh, Portland and Seattle rivalry. I don't think anyone really cares. But Seattle is better. Just kidding. But it is. That's like, have a city rivalry. I don't know, like historically, probably Seattle and Tacoma did more so than that, but 21st century. I'll keep the 20th century for those who want to look up the wiki/Portland Seattle rivalry. 20th centuries. Local national compare the hip circle of the two cities. Whoa, we're gonna have to take a look at that. And Portland just shows the divide, I guess. Cuisine. Portland. Way blows out of the water, Seattle. Food is cheaper, it's better, it's tastier, it's less New American, stupid for no reason. But I can only say to Seattle Met, of course, who would be more, unbiased, impartial than Seattle Metropolitan to talk about the cultures of the cities. Portland is known as a tiny restaurant innovator. Seattle is the land of the big boys. When you think restaurant city, you think Seattle? I don't think Seattle. I think New York, LA. I don't know. Somewhere weird. Paris. Yeah, marijuana tourist. So, yeah, I mean, drugless, I think. It means that it's probably cheaper. Well, thank you for those ramblings. I hope you learned something. I hope you go on Wikipedia. Learn more about Cannabis Corner. That's dope. Wonder how much money they get from that. And yeah, you listen to High Femme. I'm a femme, and I'm very high, and also very gay.